So welcome everybody. This is our morning daily podcast called Prayer Revolution, and we get together to say a morning prayer. And then we spend a half hour talking about how to bring the mood of prayer into our daily lives, because life is just tough without it. Life is not easy alone. And I don't know if you've ever felt this, but sometimes I don't always know what to do with my life or myself or in a moment, or what to say, or how to make a decision. Or I've ever wondered, am I on the right track? Or sometimes I want to wonder, how do I get back on the right track? And sometimes we look at the world and there's so many things we think need to change or shift, or so many things we want to change or shift in my own life. And I'm kind of spinning my wheels. It's a futile endeavor if I don't recognize that every endeavor is ultimately a spiritual endeavor, because I can't separate my material life from my material life, my material life from my spiritual life, if I want to be successful and I want to actually be guided by a higher divine power. So why not invite that higher power into every moment, every aspect, every circumstance of my life? And that's the prayer revolution. It's revolutionary. It's a revolutionary idea, but it's been around forever. And so that's what we're here to do. And
Awesome.
there's no better captain to lead that charge than Vira Doyal. So lead us in a prayer, my dear brother, and I'm looking forward to what pursues after that.
Awesome, Bob. Thank you. Thank you so much always for introducing, welcoming us, creating the space. And I'm grateful to, super grateful to be with you and have the opportunity to connect. And so I'm going to share, this is a Navajo prayer
Mm.
from the Little Book of Prayers. And I'm going to ask for all of us right now, just to pause whatever we're doing, to find a comfortable seat or a comfortable standing position, just whatever position will allow for you to best receive this time of prayer, to enter into that space in your body, in your mind, that you're ready to receive something special in your life. Prayer it's a language, it's a communication line, it's a speed dial that is always available for us, no matter what is taking place in our life, no matter what situation we're in, no matter what our beliefs are, that it is a main line that we can dial into any moment of our life. And that's what we're going to be doing right now. We're going to be we're going to be diving into that and opening up that channel for connection. And so, with that mood of receiving, just hear these prayers. With your feet, I walk. I walk with your limbs. I carry forth your body. For me, your mind thinks. Your voice speaks for me. Beauty is before me, and beauty is behind me. Above and below me hovers the beautiful. I am surrounded by it. I am immersed in it. In my youth, I am aware of it. And in old age, I shall walk quietly the beautiful trail. My dear Lord, you are all attractive. You are all beautiful. Please give me the eyes so that I can see your beauty in every single moment of my life. No matter what is taking place in the world around me, in my heart and my consciousness, please give me those eyes of love so that I can see every situation and every circumstance through love, and so that I can respond to every person, to every circumstance, to every situation with love, knowing that you're the orchestrator, that you're the conductor, that you're the captain of my ship, that you are guiding every wandering in my life, and that every situation in my life is a perfect opportunity for me to express that love, for me to express that consciousness in remembrance of you and love of you. So I ask of you today, please give us the courage. Sometimes we feel disconnected from you. Sometimes we feel far away from you. Please give us the courage to step toward you. And those of us that may be feeling bright and connected, and happy and fulfilled in their lives. That give us the strength, give us the mood of compassion to bring your beauty, to bring your splendor, to be instruments of your love in the lives of all those we come into contact with. For all of us today, let us feel that we're taking a step closer to you. Let us feel the warmth of your embrace, and let us know that there is meaning and purpose behind every moment of our life as it unfolds. And then let us feel you in your holy names as we just chant one Maha Mantra. Let us feel that connection. Let us know that your names are none different from you. That as we call out your names, that we are uniting with you, that we are with you, that you are dancing on our tongue and you are moving through our ears into our heart. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So beautiful, Vira. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mama.
There was a couple things coming to my mind, as they always do, and you were saying your prayer. But before I start blabbing, maybe I check in with you. How you doing? How's your heart feeling? And how you doing this morning? And what inspired your prayer?
Well, how am I doing this morning? I feel good. I feel grateful. Yeah, nothing. There's nothing profound that's popping. Well, I guess that's a reflection. And it is profound. The reflection of God's holy names and the power of the living name. That the name of the divine and the divine are non-different, that they're not these separate, there's this mantra that's just this kind of mechanical process. It's like, no, like this is a gateway to sitting with my beloved. This is a gateway to sitting with my higher power. And that as I recite these sacred names, that I am with my higher power embodied right now. I may not feel it. I may not totally be able to perceive it, but that's what's happening. That's what's revealed to us through the great teachers and the great saints and teachings, and that we can feel that, and as we were talking about yesterday, that fire, that sincerity, that the churning of our own heart and our own consciousness, the churning of our heart, the churning of our consciousness, the desire to connect, that desire to connect, it starts to bring alive our relationship with the divine. So that was a little reflection, and little kind of what I was coming into from my meditation. Always something comes up in my meditation, and mostly it's like, my mind bouncing around to a million things. But then there's those beautiful moments of just hearing the name and just feeling so grateful and so fulfilled in that simple practice of meditating and being with God. I'm actually just sitting down and saying, hey, let's be together. And so
I was thinking of this verse just because you were talking about, you read something about eyes in the Navajo prayer. What was it? Give me my vision.
Yeah. Well, let's see. It is for me, your mind thinks, your voice speaks for me. Beauty is before me. So beauty is before me and beauty is behind me.
Yeah.
So.
And so I was thinking that in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna wants to present a particular form to because I was, it was somebody asked Srila Prabhupada once. Srila Prabhupada is our grand teacher, the teacher of our teachers, who translated many Vedic literatures, and it's kind of the founder of the Bhakti movement globally.
The godfather.
The godfather of
the
Bhakti
great,
in the Western
the great
world.
Acharya.
So he's a teacher, and so he and so somebody once asked him in an interview. He said, "Can you see God?" And then he said, "You know what his answer was?" Well, I'm sure he was asked this question a lot of times. One of his answers was, "If I told you, would you believe me?" And so this kind of idea of like wanting to see God in my life, or can you see God, or where is God? You know what I mean? And it's like, do we believe God can be seen? You know, do I believe God can show up in my life? And how do I recognize, can I recognize God in my life when he's showing up all the time? There was a time I was in Cleveland once, when I was living as a monk with a couple of friends of mine. We went to go see Ranat Swami was doing some programs out there, and there was a memorial for his dear godbrother Bhakti Tirtha Swami, who was a good friend of Ranat Swami, who passed away, and he was from Cleveland. And so they actually did like a tour around Cleveland, of all the a bus tour around Cleveland to all the places of Bhakti Tirtha Swami's like childhood pastimes, like where he grew up, at the hospital he was born, all these kind of things. And so Ranaswamy was there, and they had this big picnic in this park, and he arrived, and he got out of the car or the van that he was traveling in, and somebody was just appreciating him, like, Mars the previous day had led like this kirtan, and they said, Mars, your kirtan yesterday was amazing. And Ranaswamy just kind of looked around, almost like he quite didn't hear the comment, like, like normally somebody says you're amazing, they're like, oh, thank you, I appreciate it, thank you, I try. Mars almost got, he did, it's like the compliment didn't even hit him. And he just was like, he was looking around with like this kind of eyes of wonder. And it was just like, he just said, everything is amazing,
Mm.
And it was like, wow, like this is a man with like God consciousness who's looking around and just seeing like everything. It's like, do you believe in miracles? It's like, oh my God, everything is a miracle. And a miracle is kind of something that we've almost never seen before. But because we see miracles every single day, we get used to them and we think they're commonplace. You know what I mean? And therefore we denounce them as a miracle. But like, you just describe the simple things of life that happen on a regular basis. And it's like, and so I was thinking of this song by India Arie. India Arie is a singer-songwriter, um, that I love. And our good friend Genevieve Harrison, she was asking these questions on Instagram, and people were saying, "What kind of music do you like? People you love to listen to?" And she listed India Arie as one of the people that she likes to listen to. And I was like, "Oh, I like India Arie too." Anyways, she wrote this song called "God Is Real." And I was looking up. I'll look up the lyrics real quick. It's this beautiful "God Is Real" lyrics by India Arie. And she says, there are some things. Oh, no, this is not God Is Real. India Arie. It's a beautiful song. Um, and there it is. She says, sweetest honey to the brightest flower, the largest plant, into the smallest atom, snowflakes in the bird kingdom. Smaller than the eyes can see, bigger than the mind can conceive. Heard a man on the radio today, must confess I disagreed what we had to say. How can you not believe that God is real? I don't understand how he can feel that way. When there's earth, air, water, and fire, so many different flowers, sunshine, and rain shower, so many different crystals and hills and volcanoes. That's how I know that God is real. This is how I know that God is real. And she like goes through all of these things she sees on a daily basis. And so I was thinking of this. This is all connecting. I'm wrapping it up here, Vira. Trust me. I was thinking of this verse from the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, where Arjuna wants to see a particular form of Krishna. And Krishna says, I will show you, but you cannot see it with your present eyes. You
Mm.
must have divine eyes. And he says, and this is in the 8th verse of the 11th chapter, but you cannot see me with your present eyes. Therefore, I give you divine eyes. Behold my mystic opulence. And in the commentary, Srila Prabhupada says, a devotee must see this universal form by Krishna's grace, not with the mind, but with spiritual eyes. To
Mhm.
see the universal form of Krishna, Arjuna is told not to change his mind, but to change his vision.
Mhm.
And so he goes on to say that it's not something that we can see with our mind. And so it's kind of like, my dear Lord, where are you? Please be before me. And it's like, I'm right here. But
Mhm.
maybe I just need to change my vision,
Mhm.
change my vision of how God is actually like right here with me.
Mhm.
And so, and when we change that vision, we can look around and see that everything is amazing. Or as
Mhm.
our India Arie saying, I can see that God is real. And so it's kind of like, when Krishna was on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he was speaking to Arjuna, but all the other warriors saw him, and all the other warriors heard the message because they were right there.
Mm.
It wasn't like Krishna and Arjuna went to the secret side room and had this private conversation. He spoke it in the battlefield. But everybody heard the same message, but heard it differently. Everyone saw Krishna, but saw him differently.
Mm.
And I was just thinking of that. I'm like, wow, how can we get the eyes to see God even when he's right there in front of us?
Mm-hmm. So beautiful. Yeah, it's so beautiful just looking at that little, that tiny, that angle, that perspective, and how it changes everything. Can change everything.
Yeah.
Love it, DG. Yeah, just that was a prayer for sure. It wasn't in the Navajo prayer specific with the eyes, but I was praying for that for sure. I want those eyes, right?
Yeah.
I want those eyes.
Vision.
Yeah, I want those. I want that vision. That's something that's okay. That's a desire of the heart. Like I want to see with love. I want to see in every circumstance, every situation in my life, it's either an act of love or it's a cry for love. I want to see that. I want to respond with that because I know that's my heart, that's my soul. If I just look back on my life, anytime that I've responded that way, that's the most fulfilled experiences of my life. No matter what the situation is, like to respond with love, to respond with integrity, to respond aligned with the heart, aligned with the soul. Doesn't matter. The result is secondary. Whatever comes from it is secondary. But to keep responding with that, that's the fulfillment. That's when going to sleep at night, that's the satisfaction that we feel. That's the peace of the mind that comes knowing that we're giving it our all, and we're giving it from that place. We're giving it from our heart, and so that's what I want, and I'm struggling along the way to respond with my heart, in every circumstance, every situation, and I believe that that's what this whole world is. This prayer is just a beautiful kind of giving us that framework and that structure of how to see it and how to feel it and walk it and experience it, and that's what this world is. It's a place where there is heaven and hell. We can see it. We see the divine, we see the demonic, we see the dark, the light, the depression, the joy. We see all these dualities, and it's a space where it's like, okay, what am I going to see even when it's dark? What am I going to see when it's beautiful? Like, what am I actually seeing? Am I just seeing the material? Am I just seeing the mind? Or am I seeing that there's beauty and an opportunity to love and serve in all of it?
Yeah.
Opportunity to connect in all of it.
Can I quote another song that you reminded me of?
Go for it, Baba.
From another beautiful singer-songwriter that I love.
This is LL Cool J.
LL Cool J, right?
Okay.
I don't even know LL Cool J. I don't even think he's around anymore. We just dated ourselves. With LL Cool J. No, it's a Kanye West song, and no, I'm just joking. It's Tracy Chapman. Tracy Chapman is a singer-songwriter that I love. And so I actually wrote to Tracy Chapman to see if she wanted to come and play at my wedding as a musician. She didn't write back to me, but
sorry about that, buddy.
But I was really in love with her at the time, and I just thought I would give it a shot. Somebody encouraged me. Anyways, Tracy Chapman, she wrote the song. As you were saying, it's kind of like, she wrote the song called "Heaven's Here on Earth," and the opening lyrics say, "You can look to the stars in search of the answers. Look for God and life on distant planets. Have your faith in the ever after, while each of us holds inside the map to the labyrinth, and heaven's here on earth. And our faith," he said, "we are the spirit, the collective conscious. We create the pain and the suffering and the beauty in this world. Heaven's here on earth. And our faith in humankind, and our respect for what is earthly, and our unfaltering belief in peace and love and understanding." And then the song goes on. But it's kind of like, we look outside of, like, you can have your faith in the far and distant ever after, or we can look to the stars for answers, or like, it's kind of this idea like God's out there somewhere, and like, as opposed to like, actually each of us holds inside the map to the labyrinth. And it's like, life is really a journey back to self.
Mhm.
But when we come back to self, it's understanding what that self is. And when we come back to self, like you give that beautiful analogy of the birds in the heart, that bird in the heart is not alone. There's another bird sitting on that branch. And
Mhm.
recognizing that journey back to self is
Mm.
also a journey back to Krishna. And recognizing that, like, I do not exist separate from God. I do not exist separate from, I am not God. Like, I don't merge with God and become one, but I am like the spoke on a wheel connected by the hub. And that's the connection that each one of us share. And if I'm trying to connect with you, if I'm trying to connect with anything else without recognizing that you do not exist separate from God, you do not exist without your intimate, innate, inherent connection with God. And I don't see you in that light. And I don't see that your journey is a journey back to self, back to connecting with your eternal relationship with God. Then I'm not understanding who you are, and I'm going to skew our relationship, thinking that you and I got something private going on that has nothing to do with this divine spiritual connection. And
Mm.
so I think that journey is not outward, that journey is inward. Like Reinhard Swami wrote that beautiful book, The Journey Within. And so I think that's kind of, as you were speaking, to be honest, I forget exactly what you said just now, but it sparked me to remember this song about how, heaven's here on earth, and it's really our perspective and our vision that shifts, and that the answers we're looking for are right there. It's not a journey. We're not transporting ourselves somewhere else. We are shifting our focus inward, and that's everything that we're looking for.
Mhm. Changing our vision, right? Being able to, and that's so beautiful. When you're sharing that, I was thinking of Om Jnana Timirandasya, that
Mm,
the lamp of knowledge, given by our teachers, the lamp of knowledge that illuminates our consciousness. That right now we're seeing things a certain way, but then wow, when that transcendental knowledge, when that spiritual
mm,
knowledge comes from a teacher, like you're saying, Radhanath Swami and different spiritual teachers that are seeing with that vision, that they're able
mm.
to share that vision with somebody else. It's
Yeah.
like the beauty in the eyes of the beholder, that torch, okay, and somebody's coming and showing us the beauty that's right before our eyes,
Mm,
the beauty of our own soul, which we neglect and forget,
yeah.
every day. So often we're forgetting actually how intrinsically beautiful we are,
Yeah.
and how beautiful and how loved we are in the eyes of the divine. And so to be able to have that illumination, to see that actually right here, right where I am, I can experience the spiritual world right here and in this body, with this mind, with these senses, with this situation that I'm in, isolated or whatever it may be, that that
Yeah.
torchlight's available, and
Yeah.
that vision is available. And often, so often we don't feel it, we don't feel connected to it, but the road back to it, it's through that
Mm,
transcendental knowledge, it's through that spiritual wisdom, it's through those teachers, and that's available to us always, right?
mm,
That's available to us. Spiritual literature is available to us always. Hearing from teachers now more than ever, you had to go to the Himalayas or to the forest or to a monastery or a special place somewhere in the world. You had to go find a teacher. And now it's like, you know go online and you can find so much incredible, so many incredible
mm,
lectures and teachings, and sit and hear them. And it has that illuminating effect, it has that awakening
mm,
effect for our soul. It gives us those spiritual eyes.
mm,
Krishna gives us those spiritual eyes when we
mm,
ask him, humbly, please give me spiritual eyes. I want to see you, I want to know you, I want to feel connected to you, I want to dance with you, I want to move with you, I want to see you in everything in my life. When we come in that mood with that energy, it gives us those spiritual eyes. Gradually, that salve of love starts to come over our eyes.
I want to dance with you.
Yeah.
You're like Whitney Houston.
Yeah. All
I
right.
want to dance with somebody. That's our prayer. I want to dance
Oh,
with
yeah.
somebody who loves me. And Krishna
You're
loves you.
you're rocking, man. You gotta
Krishna
bust
loves
get
you.
that. You gotta get that bass out.
I got my bass guitar. It's right behind me. You can see it's right behind me. And so I think that's our prayer. I want to dance with you, Krishna. And rather than praying for the sunshine, just dance with him in the rain. Just go
Yeah.
dance with Krishna in the rain. There's this beautiful one of our community member. He says, "Sing it, teaching." And Whitney Houston. And, um, uh, and so one of our community members has this prayer all the time. He says, "Thank you, Krishna, for this moment now as it is.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, my dear Lord, for this moment now as it is."
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's a very hard prayer sometimes, but it's a beautiful prayer. And Krishna's waiting to dance with us at every moment. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we're waiting. Sometimes we're inside waiting for the sun to come out. But he's saying, just step out and dance with me in the rain. Just come
Mm-hmm.
and dance in the rain. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And so sometimes we're waiting for the storm to pass, and sometimes Krishna's waiting for us to come and dance in the rain.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think we got to know the difference between those two things. And sometimes we sometimes I think I've wasted so much time in my life waiting for the storm to pass without realizing Krishna's waiting for me to come and dance in the rain.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I learn to dance in the rain, then I can recognize that actually I have that innate ability. Vira's kind of shimmying, he's getting ready. Vira's a great dancer, everybody, by the way. He's a very good dancer. And so but we don't get to
EG
see
and
him
I, we
yet.
go out secretly. We go out dancing together. You know, it's right now we got to keep it on the hush hush. But there are some places where you could still go now.
That are ignoring the quarantine. We do it in the midnight hours. But no, so yeah, so I was just thinking that you were saying like, my dear Lord, I want to see you, I want to dance with you. And so it's let's not wait for the circumstances of my life to shift, and let's take control of that. I'm like Tracy Chapman said, I'm not looking out to the stars and different life and different planets and places. I'm not waiting for the storm to pass. I'm not waiting for Christian to come in front of me because he's right here. I just have to I pray for the eyes to see, pray for the legs to dance, pray for the shoulders to shimmy, and get down and boogie with it.
Yogi in the
Just
club. Yogi
Yogi
in
in
the
the
club.
club, Club Bhakti-yoga.
I know
So,
my friend Srikala. We dear buddy of ours lives in California now. His partner Jesse Jensen, two amazing friends of ours. For some time in New York, we were talking about a conscious nightclub. You know, where we bring in mantra and we bring in all the mood and the feel of, you know, dancing, not dancing for sensuality, dancing for spirituality, dancing for that awakening of the soul and that calling out to a higher power, and creating that type of atmosphere. You know, so it's the seeds have been planted. One
yeah,
day, Club Bhakti Roo in the
dancing,
house.
not dancing for spiritual, dancing for sensuality. Julie Blondina on the chat board on Zoom, she said, "Let's put on our puddle jumpers and go."
Let's do
And
it.
so
Got it.
I don't have my bead bag with me, but that's my puddle jumper. You got your bead bag next to you, Veer?
I don't know. It's
Maybe that's our problem. We don't we don't keep it close. But if you got your japa, you got your harmonium, you got your book, whatever it is, your spiritual literature. Those are your puddle jumpers. Your spiritual literature, your spiritual bead bags, your japa beads, your meditation beads, your kirtan, and
double
so
fisting over here.
double fisting over there. So anyways, we love you guys. We're so glad to be here. Let's go. Let's dance in the rain next chance we get.
Beautiful.
And so super 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 grateful. Please keep in touch with us if you'd like to write to us your experiences, your questions. We'd love to hear from you. You can write to any of us individually, or we have an email, prayerrevolution@bhakticenter.org. We'd love to hear from you. Also, a few announcements. If you want to stay connected in community, my wife and I, Risi Gopi, we're leading 2 community groups starting next week. One will be a growing Bhakti community group on The Living Name by Sachinandan Swami. So that's going to be Thursdays at 1:00 or something next week. And we're also doing an Intro to Bhakti group on the foundational principles of Bhakti, reading through The Journey Within by Radhanath Swami. We get into the questions of who am I, who is God, what is yoga, and what is Bhakti. Both of those start next week. You can find them on bhakticenter.org/online. And on bhakticenter.org/online, you can also find our Prayer Revolution info. If you want to join us on Zoom, we have a Zoom group that you're welcome to join in. If you want to find the recordings on SoundCloud or YouTube. We post them there as well. And last but not least, for all those who want to help us keep our programs going, or if you just, how can I serve in this time of need? bhakticenter.org/support if you want to contribute anything to the financial development of the Bhakti Center to keep us going and help us produce all this cool free content for all you guys. Vira Budger is ready to rumble.
Come on, dance, guys. Come on, Zoomers. Let's get you guys dancing. Everybody, let's
I
get
want to
dancing a
chant
little
with
bit.
somebody.
We gotta start playing a little track.
I sometimes change lyrics, to be more devotional, spiritual. So instead of I want to dance with, I want to chant with somebody.
Love it.
I want to feel the deep with somebody. The deep with somebody who loves me. So I love you, Vera. I love all you guys. Please tune in tomorrow, same time, same place. We'll be with you again. Keep in touch in the meantime, and have a great one, everybody.
A beautiful day, guys. Love you, bro.
Love you.
Oh my goodness, y'all so dang cute. Oh my goodness.
Love you guys.
Oh wow, look at that smile, Trisha.
Sweepies.
Wow.
Trisha's bright. She's brightening up the world.
Beaming. Brent, I love it. We're dancing. We're dancing in the puddles today. We're dancing.
She's grooving.
Have a beautiful day, guys.
Okay. See you later. Haribo.